Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, here we go. Happy Friday. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. How the heck are you?
How the heck are
doing
you?
Today? Doing good. Doing good. Got a big old weekend. I know you got to run out of here pretty quick to get to the fair, Virginia.
I do. I think I have to hit the door at 10:45.
Okay.
So we only get 20 mins of this sweet shit?
Soak it in while you can, big fella.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go hang out with Jay Cashmere, and no offense, but...
yeah, he's a good-looking dude.
I'm taking some pictures with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you love me and Kevin so much.
I do. You're right.
You don't want to be around any other guys than me and Kev when it comes to microphones and shit like that.
Jay's just so presentable.
He is.
He's just so neat. He's got his shirt tucked in.
But he's almost too perfect.
He's Ken dollish.
He's a Ken doll.
Yeah.
And I want to know the secrets. I want to know behind the cashmere.
What do you need to know?
I don't know. I mean, he just seems too perfect.
I think he's one of those Orange Theory dudes. I think he does a lot of that.
He loves Orange Theory.
Yeah.
Him and his wife, they crank it at Orange Theory.
They're like Ken and Barbie, yeah.
Orange, you glad you didn't go to Orange Theory?
Magnolia goes there. She loves it.
Too ritzy for this bitch over here.
It's so expensive.
Yeah, it's too expensive. I like, believe it or not, I like exercising outside. I don't hate it. I kind of like when it feels rough.
Now is the time.
It is.
This is your outdoor exercise weather.
Do you like doing anything outdoors when it comes to exercise, Kev, or is that not your cup of soda?
No, I think being outside is great. I used to do outside workouts all the time. It's good. You get a nice little sweat going, get that humidity. It's kind of like working out in a sauna.
I do like that feeling.
Yeah.
Getting going is the worst part. Trying to, man, I got to go do this or do that. But once you get it and you're in it, you do feel better.
You know what it is? I've always found with working out, it's as soon as you get the sweat going, when you first break the sweat, then all of a sudden when you kind of feel yucky and mucky anyway,
yes,
then you're ready to go. But it takes a little bit. Yeah, when you first start, you're like, oh, but that's why the warm-up's important. Got to get there. Yeah, man, I was last night by a gym. The parking lot was so packed. We were welcoming in Jeff Miles, who is doing afternoons here on our station, and so they had a little welcome to town party for him at our fun little place, Crazy Horse. It was doing their trivia last night, and
that was nice.
They got what was the Crunch Gym that used to be at 95 in Northlake, but they tore it down, and so they moved it into that plaza that is just a little bit west of 95 now.
That's my Publix. That's where I shop at. I'm at that plaza all the time, and you are right. At that time, that place is Armageddon.
It was about 6:20 last night, and you couldn't even find a spot. We had to park on the other side of the parking lot. Had to walk over.
We were so close to one another, but yet so far away.
Yeah.
We were doing weird and whatever.
Oh, okay.
That's why I didn't go. I was going to go, but it was literally right at the time.
Yeah, right at the same time.
Panda had a blowout on 95 on his tire, so that's what I was doing.
Oh, no way.
I had to
What
drive
happened?
and get him. He let his tires go to the point where they had to be replaced, and the guy told him, hey, you better replace this tire.
Yep.
And he was just trying to push it. I do the same thing.
Do you do the same thing?
I do, but it just sucks because it threw my night into a tailspin.
Would you rather blow out a tire or blow out your pants? You know, the butt.
I would blow out my pants.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because on 95, when you blow out a tire, you could die.
Yeah.
That could end your life. Mm-hmm. F that.
I gotta get my tires. All right, I gotta get my tires looked at.
Look at this as your sign. Anybody listening right now, or you, Jay Bird, or anybody, if you need to fix your tires because they're getting a little too bald, do it. Don't be like Panda and have a blowout on 95.
But you know what really chaps my ass? How expensive tires are. And it's one of those things where you have to spend a lot of money, and it's tires. It's not even something cool. It's not a dinosaur. It's not a tire.
I went through your boy Klepto. And he saved me about $1,000 of what BMW wants to sell you these fancy tires.
Fuck, you driving a semi?
Klepto was like, no, you don't need those fancy tires. You can do these tires and save me big bucks. Your boy Klepto knows.
There are ways to get cheaper tires, but people, because every time we talk about tires, like, oh, you got to do this and do that. You can save money. There are ways to do it. You just gotta know the way to do it.
And if you don't, have a Klepto. The man knows how to wheel and deal.
Are you in charge of all that when it comes to the queen and the car and all that? Who would get the new tires?
She pretty much does, because we've got just her car that she drives, and so she takes care of the maintenance. She takes it in and would have them, her dealership put on the new tires and deal with all that. I mean, I will mention that I see something. There's a couple things going on with their car right now. And I'm like, hey, this is happening, that's happening. So,
but Kevin Ralston would not go in there, do the tire look in, and I'll take these and that.
No, because she, what, she wants that control. So I'm like, go ahead. I don't give a shit. You get whatever you want. Yeah.
Less work for you.
Right, exactly. So it's like, yeah, no, okay. It's something you want to do, and so go ahead.
Do you really want to be the judge and jury for the tires? Do you really give a shit?
I'm like, that's fine. Go ahead.
Well, no, I think we should get Michelins.
Right, I have zero opinion.
Oh, man, I love when I don't have an opinion on something and go, hey, man, fucking go for broke.
I
do
love
it.
when somebody just takes care of it, but I also like to get a deal. And so a lot of times if you have somebody take care of it for you, you end up paying more. But with Klepto, I don't get that. He shoots straight with me.
But that's not a kind of those are the adult things. I hate it. So getting tires, all of those things that you have to do as an adult. But in the grand scheme, who gives a shit? It's a who gives a shit kind of an errand.
You're right.
Oh.
You were saying that Panda's tow truck driver that he'd had from the blowout, Ron, was kind of an interesting cat.
Oh, my gosh. So I got in the car, and I'm annoyed because I had to drive all the way to West Palm at 6:30
Yeah.
And so I'm a little pissy. And he gets in the car and proceeds to tell me this story about this tow truck driver, Ron, that made it all worth the trip. So Panda's tire blew out. Ron comes with the tow truck, but then Panda wants to ride in the tow truck to the tire shop. So they're riding, and Ron just opens up about his life. Ron appears to be, in his late 60s. He's a weathered dude.
Okay.
A little rough around the edges. Looks like he's been through some shit.
All right.
Who hasn't?
Exactly.
Ron proceeds to tell Panda he just got out of federal prison after serving 25 years for armed robbery of a bank up in Hobe Sound. He robbed the bank with a machine gun.
A machine gun?
And he exchanged gunfire with the police that showed up during the bank robbery.
Damn.
And he got hit with a bullet or two, and nobody died, but it was a whole thing. And so he went away for 25 years.
Wow.
And he starts telling Panda why he did it.
Okay.
So he had gone to the doctor the week before the bank robbery.
Uh-huh.
And the doctor told him, bruh, you got prostate cancer. You got 6 months to live. What? And Ron had gone in there to rob the bank and get the money. And then he wanted to have a shootout with the police so that they would kill him. He wanted to do die by police officer, which is a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
It is.
And luckily, Ron didn't die that day. And then when he, was fighting his case, he was trying to prove to the court that, he wanted to die by officer because he thought he had prostate cancer. He was misdiagnosed.
Oh, my gosh.
He didn't have prostate cancer. The doctor made a mistake, and he still had to go away 25 years. They don't care.
Crime, you got to do the time. You can't.
Well, just because you have cancer doesn't mean you can rob a bank.
Right. With a machine gun.
That's not how it works.
No.
Oh, my gosh.
Is he cool with you telling the story? You've given out pretty much every detail: where he lives, the town, his name, what he used as a weapon, what he does for a living. You called him weathered. Is this a smart move? I don't know. Do I need any more reasons to be concerned?
It'll be fine.
I hear you.
It'll be fine.
This guy seems like he's got it together.
Yeah.
From the sound of him, I don't think he is got the fight in him that he had 25 years ago. I think he's just trying to chill. But isn't that a great story?
No, it's actually it's a terrible story. I mean, the guy's
It's a terrible
whole life.
story, but isn't it compelling?
Yeah, to hear it like that, there's a lot to chew on.
I mean, it's unreal. It sounds like a movie plot. but-
Right. Maybe Ron should just tell his story and sell it. Option the book.
Yeah,
that is a thing, though.
Yeah,
Death
that
by
could be it.
police.
It is.
Wow.
It totally is a thing.
That's insane.
Sometimes when these people go in where they go in with the gun and they shoot everybody up, and they have in their mind that there's a good chance they're walking out of there not walking out of there, they're going to get killed by the police, and they want that. They want to get they want to do all the destruction.
Suicide by cop.
Yeah, but but they want to do as much damage as they can before they get shot.
Wow.
It's crazy how many are like that.
How about that?
Yeah.
Man, I would watch that if they made that story. That'd be
I would
fascinating to
too.
see.
The story of Ron.
I don't know how much there is to go on there. I mean, it's a pretty quick story, but that is kind of interesting.
I don't know. Like you see him in the beginning, and he goes to the doctor, and that could play out. That could be a good hour and a half.
Oh, you can make that an hour and a half
Totally.
easily.
Okay.
But do we know this is even real? Watch this son of a bitch make up all this shit just to.
That's a crazy story if you're making that up. That's pretty. I mean, that's good creativity. If nothing else, I'll hand it to Ron on that.
I mean, it's public record. I can go research it and look it up.
It'd be quick.
I mean, Hope Sound, how many bank robberies happened 25, 26 years ago? Like,
Well, we have the town and we have the name and we have the occupation.
He's about to be fully doxxed here before the end of the podcast.
He just did.
I don't mean to dox him. I mean, he did his time.
Virginia's such a doc sucker.
Yeah.
What?
You dox people.
I don't think he would care. I mean, he told Panda the story.
Yeah,
that's the
he
same.
likes to share. No.
That's the same as a broadcast.
One or 1,000. What's the difference? There's another show I think maybe I'll get to this weekend if I got some time. I would like to hear if anybody else has checked it out, and it's got a tie to Palm Beach, so I'm always fascinated by that. On Netflix, they've got Bernie Madoff. It's the Monster of Wall Street.
I watched half of it. It's boring AF.
Oh, is it?
It is so slow moving. I get to the fucking point.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real slow.
All right. Yeah, I think I do remember you saying that. All right, because I just saw it pop up. I'm like,
I thought so too, and I'm like, ooh, I want the juice. Maybe he gives more juice on the back end. You can fast forward through the first 40 minutes.
Sometimes that happens where they do save all the juice for the end. You gotta keep that little breadcrumb.
I want to know more about the stories of the people that he took their money. I wasn't getting a lot of that.
yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, that's what had fascinated me was just
The
to get perspective.
relationships.
Yeah, to get perspective on the lives that he ruined. I think there are people that commit suicide and stuff, and I know my mother-in-law, she was telling me there were some stories where he wiped out the generational wealth.
Yeah,
and,
that's real.
She had
On
worked,
Palm Beach Island.
Yeah, she had worked at the Bath and Tennis Club for many years. And there were so many people there that were affected by it. And these were kids who were trust fund babies, and they didn't build a skill set. And all of a sudden, in one day, they went from being at the Bath and Tennis Club to not having any house at all.
We know people that have been affected by Bernie Madoff and lost generational wealth.
And then all of a sudden, their friends shunned them and everything they do. And then they're working 3 jobs, like menial jobs, to try to just have.
They have to sell their house on Palm Beach Island.
Right.
The people I'm thinking of sell their mansion on Palm Beach Island. They now live in West Palm Beach. And luckily, they have businesses that we all have frequented and we know them. And luckily, they weren't just trust fund spoiled babies.
Right.
And they're going to be okay, but they're not going to be generationally wealthy like they were.
I remember I went to school with some trust fund babies, and it was kind of the beginning of the collar popping, where the kids had all the money and they drove the nice cars.
They were sending trust fund babies to Gardens High?
Believe it or not,
Really?
there were times where not trust fund, but very rich. We had very rich people. There was a few kids like that, and they pop the collars. And sometimes you'd party with them of other schools, Benjamin, all those.
Benjamin has them. Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Benjamin,
those are the kind of circles you'd run at a party. You'd see around that time.
Sure.
Those fucking collars pop.
Yeah.
Talking about money.
There's some people that they just look rich. there's just an essence to them. You look at them and it's just like, yeah, there's no doubt they have money.
It's just a aura.
Yeah, it is.
An
It is. They
essence.
just look like money.
You're like, damn.
It's crazy. So, I mean, imagine having all that. And I think there were people that committed suicide, of course, and
There's
things like that.
absolutely
Yeah.
people that
Tragic.
did that and lost everything.
Yeah.
And
What an a-hole.
I want more of those stories because that's the compelling part of the story. The stuff they
Yeah.
were giving us was like the backstory of Bernie, which is really kind of a boring
Is it?
rise.
Okay.
It's not half as interesting as the rise of Epstein.
Okay.
That one was fascinating how he manipulated and played.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, what my mother-in-law was telling me, those stories were fascinating. If you could get an inside look at what their life was. I know people are like, boo-hoo, but, for people that just don't do that, what? For 5 generations, they had immense wealth.
And the grandkids were banking on it.
Yeah, and then nothing.
Nothing.
Just goes
Everything's
to show you-
gone.
Yeah, and that's why, in a sense, you're smart. I know Trump had done that with his kids, but the smart ones make sure that their kids could start with 0 and still have something to do.
Everybody should have a plan. Your plan should not ever be, I'm going to the country club. If you make that your plan, you're resting. You're taking advantage. You're lazy. Whatever happens to you, I'm sorry. It's karma. Get out there and make your generational wealth work for you. Now I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Turn $1 million into 20.
My mother-in-law had always told me the Campbell's soup lady, the mama, the grandma, owns that. That's, that soup wealth. And all the kids, they had to present business plans to get any kind of money. And if they became knuckleheads, she cut them off.
That is the way you do it.
Yeah, they said she didn't play.
Do a business plan. Show me
Yeah.
why you deserve a part of the Campbell's soup money.
Is Campbell's soup a little overrated? I feel like I've had some.
It's the everyman soup.
I've had.
Well, now it's got a lot of competition. But back in the day,
yeah.
Campbell's soup was the game.
It was like in the 70s and 80s. It was crushing.
Crush.
I just noticed it has a bit of a tin. I know you get a lot
Well,
of
it's
it.
in a tin can.
I get that, but there's shit in tin cans that don't taste like tin, and there's stuff that does
Yeah.
it better. I eat shit in tin
Oh my
all the
gosh,
time.
this pool is wet.
But there's
You're not getting what I'm saying.
But
there's other stuff in tin cans that
there's
don't
rich
taste like
man
tin.
soup, and then there's poor man soup. And Campbell's is the everyman soup. And
Yes.
in a lot of areas, like where I grew up, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to have the fancy ass soups. You're doing the stuff where people are,
They don't have Progresso.
right. We ain't gonna play with that. That ain't a Logan kind of soup. We don't do
Progresso
that.
costs like triple what Campbell's cost.
Right. Yeah. For us, we're a Campbell soup town. And then you think about it. I mean, hey, if you have lived your whole life in South Florida, not having that perspective of that small poor ass town. Yeah, there's and you know what? These big companies do make a lot of money because it may not seem like a lot, but man, the volume's huge because there's a lot more poor people than there are rich people.
That's true.
So if you're selling to the poor people, you're not going to get overall as much per item, but the mass amounts you sell, trust me, there's a lot of rich people who have made money off poor people.
I just think it tastes a little tinny. Is all I'm saying.
You're not wrong. But
So you're not going to raise the roof and say soup, there it is for the Campbell?
When I was doing that soup, it was Campbell's, and it did have a tinny, and not all seriously, not all tinny things taste like tin. I do a lot of tin, as you know.
yeah, Becky said I bought some Campbell's chicken soup last month. It's so salty I dumped it in the sink.
It's salty.
Yeah.
That's how they hide the tin.
Where I'm from, though, man, we love salt. We love sodium. Love cheap-ass soup.
They got Panera now. Panera does a soup line in the grocery store.
You're going to pay $6.
Oh, compared to Campbell's, it's
ridiculous. I
But
mean,
it don't taste like tin.
it's watered down vegetables
It don't taste like tin.
with a little hint of chicken.
What's that?
Overpriced fancy soup.
I'm talking about. I think we're talking about two. I'm talking about the Panera's
in the store.
Their bisque is good. It tastes good. I'm sorry, but I'm not bougie like you. I don't fucking do fancy soups.
Somebody's saying on the Madoff thing, watch it, Kev. It does get better. So maybe I will try that a bit.
Just know the front end is a snooze fest. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. And RJ was saying, don't forget 2 football playoffs. Yeah, no, I got that all marked off. So I'll be doing that a lot. So probably not this weekend for Madoff, but, a couple weeks there. I got an email from Michael, and he said, similar to Kev, I grew up in a small town. I'm from Russell Springs, Kentucky, which is about 45 minutes from Bowling Green in the middle of nowhere. after moving to Stewart 9 years ago, I realized there's a lot of things that people don't understand that didn't grow up in areas like us. I'm wondering if Kevin can relate to any of these, and also if anybody on the show would be confused by these. He says Red Lobster was 5-star dining for the filthy rich. Absolutely.
Yeah. It
was.
That was it. My grandma Beulah, man, when we wanted to go big time, she flipped out that there was a Red Lobster down the street from me, and she was like, they're popcorn shrimp. She just, that was it. She would get her hair done to go to Red. No, she did. She got her hair did to get to Red Lobster.
That's adorable.
I kind of feel like when I was a kid, in certain houses, Red Lobster was considered fancy. In my house, if we were going to Red Lobster, that means Dad got a bonus of some sort, or a windfall of money happened. It was a big deal.
Yeah. Like you would do your prom dinner at a Red Lobster. You would do an Olive Garden. Like those were reserved for the specialists, the most special of events is when you would go to those restaurants.
Olive Garden back in the day too, kind of when it first hit. Olive Garden
that's prestigious.
It was kind of. It was.
You would get a little side eye if you went to Olive Garden around the wrong people in my town, because they'd be like, "You rich snobby son of a bitch." You were a snob if you were throwing out that you went to the Olive Garden in my town.
Oh, no big deal.
Yeah.
Unlimited breadsticks, bottomless salad.
I wonder if that's just kind of like an income thing where everything you're saying was a big deal in our household. Olive Garden, Red Lobster, that meant holy shit.
It was perspective, yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
but
in our perspective, that was 5-star.
Was that how it was for most people? Was that did it have a different kind of a look back then with Red Lobster?
Yeah. I mean, in fact, even some people we were talking up Chili's today and how I'm gone, and I got 3 texts right away, which that's a good amount. But they had said in the last 6 years the food quality's gone down. They said it's not the same, and so when I was what was 5-star when I was real young was the Ponderosa, and that was where you went and got your fine steaks. And their food quality had gone down. And it does. Some of these restaurants, it's really interesting. We had gone to a place, which I'll keep nameless, but we'd gone in there, and I can see the life cycles of some restaurants. And we were in it, and the family, just all of us together, like, we used to love this place. Like, what's going on? And it seemed a little dingier, that just a few things here and there were a little bit more off.
It went down probably, but also your tastes go up as your choices get more amazing. And I think we in South Florida are especially spoiled with all of our amazing options.
I hear
where decor is fabulous, and there's a celebrity chef, and there's this and there's that, and like we really are fancy in South Florida.
I hear what you're saying, but you're speaking for such a small community. Kevin is 1,000,000,000% right when he says some of these common person kind of restaurants, their quality has gone down.
Yeah.
It's not as good. I'm that guy. I go to those restaurants, and I bet you any money I know what restaurant you're even talking about without you even telling me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we're on that telepathy. We're on the same level. Like for me right now, Flanagan's is my joint. Like they're crushing it. Like, I'm just loving Flanagan's. I know a lot of people disagree, but to me, that's great. But there might be a time where I start going to Flanagan's and be like, I don't know, just something, the beer's not as fresh, the food's not as, it's just a little bit off.
You were talking, both of you, about how much we love Chili's and all that. And I do. I love Chili's so much. I would always order. And I was going, why don't I go to Chili's? And I started going back in my memory bank. It wasn't as good.
You remember,
everything was starting to taste shitty to me.
Yeah, places do, man. They've got runs. They go up and down. And yesterday, as we were sitting in this one place, their competitor, who, when I kind of got to town, was, I feel, a little bit down, is kind of going up, and it's interesting because they're kind of transcending. I'm noticing myself now, it is just flip-flopped between the two. So
I do know who you're talking about. I just figured it out.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people probably because you're noticing the same thing, and it's slightly sad because it was my number one.
And it's just not that franchise either. There's plenty that could go on that list. All kind of the same type of restaurant in that ballpark of casual dining, but it's nice.
And they go through runs, Michael would say, Twin Peaks is killing it with the wings. Yeah, no, Twin Peaks is a hot run right now, man. They are great.
They're smoking Hooters.
Well, it's not even close. Yeah. I mean, it's not even close anymore.
But it sounds like they're smoking everybody.
Twin Peaks is doing very well. I mean, the one by my house, and I live close to one. I love it. It's one of our top 3.
There hasn't been a time where I've not gone to Twin Peaks, and it just does. It's going off. It just people galore.
Yeah.
Those are
probably my top 2. Those are probably my top 2.
You like them? You like
the Flanagan's and the Twin Peaks.
Them pickle chips.
Yeah, I
Fried
do.
pickles,
Yeah, I
yes.
do. They're really good,
They
man.
are.
Their salsa that they got at Twin Peaks, they warm it up.
Ooh.
It comes to you warm.
I like the sound of that.
Damn.
What an added nice little touch,
That
man.
is a small little
That
thing.
small little
It does
thing,
make a
dude.
difference.
I'm telling you, when they would start to fall off, you would get it and be like, it's not really that warm. It's kind of,
Yeah, that's the
that's
sign.
when you start to notice places fall off a bit. Those kind of things happen.
All right, I'm leaving you guys. I love you.
Don't
Okay.
leave now, Virginia.
Have fun. Tell Kashmir we said hey. Yeah, some other things that Michael had put in here was signs of a small town. He said the thing to do was to park and sit at a Kmart parking lot for hours as a teenager. Yeah, absolutely. We kind of had that. We had my town. You would go from the pizza crossing. You would go down Main Street to the McDonald's. You would pull in the lane outside of the drive-through around, and we would just drive that all night long. And then some of the rednecks would sit in their pickup trucks on Main Street and yell at all the girls going by.
So Marietta, Florida, where I played my freshman year of baseball,
Yeah.
that was country, and it reminds me a lot of Logan.
Yeah.
I like that kind of living. I don't hate it.
a lot-
I like
hey,
the
look,
country.
I get it. A lot of people do. And honestly, growing up there, I'm really happy I grew up there. It was nice.
I like sweet people.
Yeah.
I just like
People are amazing.
They really are very
They're the best.
The people up when I was up there, I could not believe how nice people were.
Well, you know what was just great? I mean, some of my high school friends, I just don't even see them anymore. And I called a few of them up, and they changed their plans to go hang out with you guys and
don't
to
even-
make sure you guys were taken care of.
They don't even know us.
And I was just like, gosh, there's nobody maybe two people here that I feel like I could do that with. Most people be like, well, what? I'm not, fuck off.
But I also think just the whole atmosphere is cozy.
It
I
is.
like when they do small town
great.
festivals.
Yeah.
And I just like that feel of things.
It is.
Reminds me of where the Gilmore Girls live.
Everybody's got everybody's back. That's what a
Yes.
small town is all about, man. It really is. There's a lot of magic there. Friday nights are reserved for high school football. Absolutely. Everyone in town goes to it. Having to walk a quarter of a mile to the end of your driveway for the school bus. Yep. Bike lanes don't exist. Being in the paper or the radio was a big deal. Yeah, that was a huge deal. You cut that out and you put that in the family album.
I remember they would put our junior college baseball games on the town radio. And
Yeah, we had the same
you
thing.
felt real
Yeah,
cool.
It was.
You
yeah.
felt cool.
Yeah, our local radio station broadcast our football games. Cops knew your vehicle. Oh, yeah. Cops knew everybody. Yeah, so pretty cool.
When I got up there, the fact that I was just from Palm Beach County, I was already hearing stories about me before. I didn't talk to anybody. And I remember this girl, me and her, we started talking. We go, my mama told me to watch out for you. I go, why? I just got into town. You're from Palm Beach. I'm like,
Yeah.
no shit.
Yeah, no, that you wouldn't know that. It was a big deal. In fact, he said being surprised when someone new from out of town moves to your town. And that was it. When somebody new moved in, everybody was aware of it. They're like,
Yep.
all right, what are they all about? And you kind of stand back and
They gave
observe.
gave me a nickname, Penny.
Uh-huh.
And that's all. Oh, Penny's from Palm Beach. And what they thought about Palm Beach County was either you had a fuck ton of money or
Yeah.
you were slanging crack. There was nothing in between. So it was either crack
Yeah.
or money.
There's nowhere in between.
I'm like, yo, I didn't come from money. Like, oh, but Penny does crack. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I didn't do
No.
crack either.
Kirby is adding another one here. We were talking the other day, the 4 reasons why Florida has the reputation it does for dumbasses and the Florida man. And he said the one thing you could add in there, and it's true, is the Sunshine Act. And what that is that the broad public records laws under the Sunshine Act, which was passed in 1991, guarantees free public access to Florida's government documents and proceedings. And so, yeah, it's a lot easier to get stuff. Police arrest records especially are in that. So it's easy for reporters to find, weird shit that happened here more than any other states. So, and now Florida Man's become a name and something all to its own, so people seek it out.
Yeah, me and Dennis, we did a Florida Man song. We never did a video with it because I wasn't sure about what to do with it. I kind of want to get a bunch of people to act like a Florida man in there.
Okay.
If you would love to have you.
Yeah, definitely. I'd do that. Rhonda actually had sent that and said, yeah, you had talked about producing the Florida Man song. All your songs are funny. She said, very catchy. I was looking forward to the new one. Just wanted to shoot you a reminder.
Yeah, the good news is it's recorded and done. Now we just got to do a video, and I would love to do that. In fact, let me write that down and put that on the list because that would
Okay.
be an easier thing to do because the song is done.
Yeah, and Rhonda was the one I'd seen our email. Yeah, she said that I love all the incessant, trivial, funny babble y'all put out. I often turn off the TV at night and just listen to the rest of your show or the ATS podcast. It's way more entertaining than 80-90% of what's on TV. So thank you very much.
Not kind.
Very nice compliment. Appreciate that. Let me see some other emails here that we got. If you're looking for something else to watch, Becky on a horror movie, The Cell, highly recommended. Ooh. Very visual, beautiful, and twisted. It has scenes in it that I can't get out of my head. It's a psychological thriller and disturbing. I will say I haven't watched a horror genre movie since this one because of the lasting effect it had on me. If you're into that sort of thing, check it out. The Cell. Becky sent that in.
Honestly, when the good people give us ideas, especially if it's in my wheelhouse, I do watch a majority of the stuff that people say. Not everything, but I will absolutely watch The Cell. I've never seen it.
Okay.
And I know we got a lot of people that love the horror genre that listen to our program.
Oh, it's big. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah,
I love old school horror because they didn't have much to work with. So you see them literally working with nothing to try to create something. I love that kind of movie making. It's cool.
Yeah. The other genre popping right now is the cowboy rancher genre, mainly because of Yellowstone and the 2 spinoffs that they have done. I was telling you earlier, if you want to get in on it, the Wall Street Journal did a write-up on how cowboy fashion has gotten big in cities. New York, people are wearing it. And there's a site called shopthescenes.com that sells clothes worn on TV shows. And the executive producer of Yellowstone is a co-founder, and episodes feature QR codes to different products the characters wear. I mean, this is smart. And now Wrangler has its own line of Yellowstone stuff right now, which that's great marketing on top of it. And the people at Shop the Scene say they've sold out of the fur coat from Beth Dutton's wedding multiple times, and it's a coat that costs $995.
Wow.
Yeah, now she's, kind of a rich bitch in the thing because she got daddy's money and a bunch of her own money as well. She's a pretty smart cookie.
Do you like Westerns or not really?
No, I'm not really into Westerns. The thing that I like about Yellowstone is, one, it's a good drama. It's modern. And it's not so much about, it's good characters. And there's a lot of drama because everybody's trying to steal the ranch. And so that's really the whole underlying theme. It's similar to us because it's all these tourists are coming in trying to crowd in the valley there in Montana, which, is kind of legit happening. And we have that here in South Florida, too. And then it's just the fact that they're trying to hold on to this ranch and have been for generations, and they have to fight. And they'll go to any length to do it, including often bitches and all that stuff.
I mean, I can see why people don't like your old school kind of Westerns. There is one, though, I would love for you to watch. I personally think it's one of the best movies ever made, and you're going to know everybody in the movie.
Okay.
Is Tombstone. I know I always talk about it.
I brought that up with my dad. I'm like, I'm going to have to watch that with him. He loves Westerns.
It is such an amazing fucking movie. I love
Tombstone.
Cast
too, right?
The backstory of Tombstone's amazing. How Kurt Russell had to pretty much be the director and doesn't get credit for being the director.
Oh, really?
But he's the heart of that movie right there.
You've got Val Kilmer, Kurt Russell, Sam Elliott in it.
The fact that Val Kilmer was not nominated for an Oscar or an Academy Award is bullshit. That's one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life.
You got
that good.
Bill Paxton is in it. Jason Priestley is in it. Billy Bob Thornton is in it. Billy Zane is in it.
Yeah, man, it's a really great movie.
And the Frank Stallone is in it. How about
that? I love his part.
Yeah.
It's very quotable.
Okay. Yeah, that's solid. I'll put that on the list and watch that again. It's been years.
But okay, so you have seen or you haven't?
Way back in high school.
Got ya.
I saw it, but I really couldn't even tell you much about it right now. So I just remember, I think Val Kilmer was Doc Holliday, and he drank too much.
Yeah, he's an awesome drunk, man. He's a badass drunk.
Yeah. So that's some good stuff. All right, well, thank you guys so much for all the emails. Appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoy your weekend. I know for some of you it's a 3-day weekend, so have fun. We'll see you back here next week. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.